All right, hey, how's it going? Mike Gowans here. I want to talk to you in this video about the things that really hold you back from creating that thing that you somehow think in your mind that you always want to create or do, but you for some reason never get it done. And the reason that I'm coming up with this is as I'm building my course out, I was looking through just old videos and old things that I had been doing, and it's about every month every September in about the middle of the month I've looked back, and it's really crazy. Since about 2007, I've been doing online business, digital marketing, trying to figure out how to help businesses make money online, and I've been doing all kinds of things to try to figure out the online business space. And as I've done that, I've always tried to, document, and I've always tried to share the things that I'm learning that are really, I guess shifters in what has helped me get to the point where I'm at now. And it's been really interesting to look back about every time this year I have went to go start a course or build a course or do a course. And when I started my one business that was really strong with this industry in online business, online marketing, digital marketing, Gowans Media, about 3 years ago. Ever since then, I've been wanting to take what I've been learning with all my clients and take everything that I've been figuring out there and bring it to people that are also in done-for-you service businesses, or that are also really professional at something, that are really skilled and have a lot of expertise in a particular area, and show them that they can actually take that skill set, that ability they have, and they can turn that into an online course, and they can sell that to people. And I've always just kept doing my service business and kept doing the done for you stuff. And even though I've had some one-on-one coaching clients, and I've had some, smaller little packets of, I guess course material that I've put together and sold to people for thousands of bucks actually, which is a big, you should be doing more course stuff. I've always somehow let it slip out. And so I look back at all these videos, and I started noticing that every time about September, about the middle of the month, I'm on this quest to set up my course and do my course. Well, here I am again. It's September, and I'm doing it again, but this time it's going down. It's happening for sure. And I'm starting this out and doing this thing, and I've noticed that some of the things that you just would never imagine creep in and start distracting you. And I wanted to share with you some of those big distractions that you should watch out for. And some of them probably won't be what you think, but I do also want to share with you that on your process of thinking about starting an online business, and in your process of thinking what kind of product would I create, or what am I going to do, it's really important that you focus on the problem that you want to solve. Because really everybody's out there doing all these things, and I heard this quote one time, and it made so much sense to me, that just books are books written about books. It's like somebody reads a ton of books, and then they take everything they learn and they regurgitate it out and create another course, which, yeah, that does help people that have never heard the information before. And if that's your goal to do that, then great. But then there's also the person that's actually doing the thing that they're teaching people how to do, which is really powerful. And then you've got people out there that are just, crazy and trying to just make money, which, I just despise that. Because, at one time it was I just wanted to make the money too. And it was I'll do whatever it takes, ethically. But you'll get into a place when you're focused on the money that you'll be cheap in your delivery or your solutions. And so I just urge you that you really focus on quality, you really focus on creating something that's going to be epic, and that's really going to solve that problem for people. But one of the big distractions that just destroy you is your damn phone. I can't tell you how impressive it has been as an example to me. And I don't get too distracted by it, but I mean, I get pretty damn focused on what I'm doing, but I'll tell you what, like when you turn your phone off or you put it on airplane mode and you like set it over in like the closet or something, it's a world of difference, because every little or like little move, like screen flash or it just like takes you off your thing. And if you get into that flow state and then this happens or something, like you get distracted, then your mind goes into that and you want to handle that, you want to do all this, and before you know it's like there went 10 minutes or there went 30 minutes or there went whatever. So the point of distraction and the point of this video is sharing with you why you're not getting it done. Like, I mean, I look back and I'm like, man, I let so many things distract me that were pointless, that were like so unproductive, and it's frustrating. And I'm sure you might be going through that too. You have this idea, this thing that you want to do, you want to bring it online, or you're in a done for you service business, and you're like, gosh, I'm getting all these other people, all these results, but like I want to do that for myself. Like I want to have my own product that I'm pushing out there and helping people with. And the power of teaching a man to fish per se is so incredible, because it ripples out into like millions of people. And so that never happens if you're constantly distracted. The next thing that distracts the crap out of you is not having a schedule. If you don't have a schedule, you'll be really tilted. Like you'll be able to get kicked off real easy because you don't have a firm standard of what you need to do each day. And just implementing a strong schedule of when I was going to wake up, when I'm going to bed, when I'm going to eat, having like simplification is key. And when you're building a schedule, what I've really noticed is to really first put in the most empowering, like most powerful things that need to happen first. You inlay that throughout your day and your week. Then you build around that. And I'll tell you that it's so much easier to, try to, a lot of people try to add things to their life thinking it'll improve it. And I'll tell you, some of the most wise things I've heard lately is you want to remove the things that are causing the problem instead. So it's better to reduce what's there than to add something there to fix it. So instead of adding something to fix it, you want to reduce the things. Charlie Munger, which is a huge investor, he's a part of Berkshire and Hathaway, Warren Buffett, that whole crew, really smart dude, billionaire, all that. He said, one thing that I would want to know if I could be granted one thing is I would just want to know, the place where I'm going to die. Because if I knew where that was, I could avoid that place at all costs, and then I would, essentially never die. And so the point there is like, there's probably a ton of crap in your life that you just need to get rid of, that's distracting the crap out of you and not allowing you to get where you need to go. And instead of like adding things in to try to help do the thing or get better at it or make that, commitment happen, there's probably a ton of stuff that you just need to just remove altogether. Just take it completely out. And that's going to make a huge impact, a huge difference. So I encourage you, when you're building a schedule out, first off, get very specific on your times and stick to it. Like get up at the same time every day, 7 days a week. Go to bed at the same time every day, 7 days a week. Don't let that like waver. And then on top of that, what else you want to do is you really want to focus on putting the most impactful, like lever moving, needle moving activities in there first, and then build around that. And be really efficient with everything. Like reduce. It's easier to avoid looking stupid than it is to try to look smart, right? Like you're better off avoiding the things that are going to make you look stupid than trying to look smart, right? Like it's so important you try to get that inverted mental model thing going. If you look up mental models, I got a book coming too that I ordered. It's 30 different mental models. I'll be sharing those with you, but one of the powerful models, it's that Charlie Munger model, is the power of inversion. Like if you really want to, let's say, make a bunch of money per se, like something simple like that, very relatable. Instead of thinking like, how can I make money? Think about what can I do to not lose money, right? Like think about that. Like what can I do to not lose money? Like if you want to get really focused, think about like, how can I get really distracted? Because when you think about the reverse of the goal that you want to obtain, like if you don't want to be distracted, then ask yourself, like, my goal is, how can I really, really distract myself? Because you're going to come up with things that are going to like highlight and like open you up to what you need to remove. And so the opposite of focus is distraction. So if you're like, man, how can I get really, really distracted? Well, or how can I get really unfocused? Well, I need to get a bunch of distractions around me. Well, that tells you how to become very focused, because you'll just want to remove all those distractions. And you can use this with anything, right? Like, how could I make my car go faster? Well, if that's your goal, invert that, use inversion, and be like, how can I make my car go extremely slow? And when you come up with all those answers, those are the things you need to remove. Okay, so it's like a subtractive analysis tool. So anyway, think about that. And then the last one here that I want to leave you with, because I'm late even getting this out to you, because it's just been an extremely crazy week, busy week, really focused on the course. Is you need to really, really like focus on why you do the things that you're doing. And this is like, I know it sounds extremely simple, but it's so weird to me how you can get so lost in this little mental movie that you're playing all the time, and you get into these repetitive patterns of like just worthlessness. Not that you're worthless, but the crap that you're doing is worthless, and so essentially you become worthless, right? And be really, really cautious of what's around you. Be really cautious of your environment, and be truthfully like focused, or try to be very aware, or have little triggers or things that are going to help you get back to the basis of why you're doing the thing. You know, like those of you that are maybe you're in a service business now, or maybe you're like a professional at something and you work for somebody else, or you're an expert at something and you're making all the money for some other company, or you're like the fulcrum in the company. Like if you left, that company would struggle because you're the professional, you're the expert there, and you're not getting paid what you're worth. You're not making what you want to, and you can't scale it because you're under the cap of what somebody else says. Or you're in a done-for-you business, but your goal was to have more freedom, and ended up your job became like a glorified, or your business, your service business became like a glorified job. Like you're being pushed around by this thing that you built, and your whole goal of building that was to have like freedom and to have power and ability and hopefully you did it to help really solve a problem out there. So if you're in those positions, and you want out of those, and you want to take what it is that you're an expert at or a professional at, or the thing that you do for other companies, you want to necessarily do for yourself, then the great thing that you can do is, it's like study, practice, and teach, right? Like you studied something, you figured it out, you started practicing it, now you're an expert, you're a master at it. Now turn around and teach that to people, because there's a ton of other people every day turning 18 every day, or getting to an adult age where they need to figure out what they want to do, and they're looking for the efficient path to get there, and they will pay you great numbers to get that. And so as you think about what you want to do, and as you think about that product you want to create, or that course that you want to create, or anything that you're doing, it doesn't have to be anything to do with this at all. Really get in line every day with why you're doing it. Like, what's the point, right? Like, what is the true point of what you're doing? For me, I want to basically create the ultimate like ability to give somebody the geniusness. Like I can't imagine if everybody could just like download Genius. Like if they just had a chip in their head and they could download a software like if you've ever seen the movie The Matrix, right? Where Neo or whatever, they just download Kung Fu, or they download the ability to fly a helicopter. That's gonna be like super available someday. And I want to be the program, the company that creates the softwares for that. Like, we want to basically educate everyone and help people become a genius. Because if everybody's a genius and they're a very, very powerful like lever in a particular topic, it ripples out and changes the entire world. So in order for me to do that, in order for me to build that, I'm starting with a course. Like I'm going to start building a course that helps people create power, which is to create financial resources and to create time and to create, the ability to focus and the ability to have the freedom to work on bigger, stronger, powerful things. And so that's why I am creating my expert continuity course. And I'm going to teach people how to get that. And I have to remind myself of like what my true mission of life is, to educate people and help them reach genius levels of what they want to reach and what they want to be masters at. And I want to help them do that without, taking years and without, all the hard work and all that stuff, because I feel like you do all this work to become this thing, and yes, that's great in what you become, but what's even more important is once you become the thing that's a master at something, when you start applying that, that's when the actual like amazingness happens. Like, and to give you a good example is I know tons of people that are extremely intelligent at a certain thing, but they don't do anything with it. So it's pointless. Like it's just a head full of like knowledge. Great. Okay. Whippity doo. That's like the equivalent of like Michael Jordan not ever playing basketball. Like amazing at top notch in basketball, but never played. Like, what a freaking waste, right? So to me, it's very important to understand who you become on that journey of learning the stuff and becoming that. But what if you could just get that quicker and you could have that knowledge and you could cut the corners and shave off that curve, and you could learn how to become financially wealthy, and you could learn how to be more efficient with your time and be better with your time, and learn how to have the power to move things in the world in a really powerful way and help people and solve more problems. I mean, you get a room of geniuses together and the world's problems start to become non-existent. So we have to build more of those people, and they need to be more available quicker. And so, the first step in that is getting people out of the trap of the system, go to school, get good grades, go to college, stack up a bunch of debt, and then go get a measly job that drives you insane and doesn't pay you what you're worth, and your creativity's shot, nothing really comes of it. And that's not always the case, but a good majority of the time it is. So I want people to get past that. If I'd have known, right out of high school or, early on that there was, programs like what I'm building, and other programs that I've bought some other amazing courses that have helped me, that I could have spent maybe 5, 6, 7, 10 grand on a course instead of, people out there spending $50,000, $120,000 and spending 4 or 5 or 6 years of their life to get out and hopefully get a job, maybe. But then they're like doing this like thing, okay? Now, if your thing is that, then Jesus, go get it. But I'd say a good majority of you are just picking things because A, you think it's gonna make you money or make you happy, or B, you picked something already and now you're caught in this like hamster in the wheel, you're like struggling all the time to make it, or you're damn good at something, like you're a super pro at something, and you're so like distracted by what your job is telling you to do, or yourself or your home life or all these things. And I really, there's a better way to do things. So to go back over what we talked about. First off, don't let your phone be you can turn it off, trust me. Like I have a lot of clients and I have a lot of business going on, and I will put mine on airplane mode. I let them know to email me. I let them know that I do that, so they're aware of it, and it makes things a lot better that way, because everybody respects everybody's time differently. Number 2 is you need to like create a schedule and get real sticky with that. Like get really focused on that and do subtractive things, like take away things that are going to, just pull you in all these different directions. Like take away, get more efficient, like less is more. And then thirdly, really understand why you're doing what you're doing. Like it's really easy to just get caught in the like daily motions and patterns, and you just, life slips by and you just don't know why you're frustrated, and it's because you just keep losing sight of what you're trying to do. So anyway, hopefully this helped. Try to do these every single week. I mean, my goal is every Tuesday. Got a little behind this week. Here it is Friday. But I just did it. I was like, I'll just jump out and do it real quick. Just been working feverishly over here, trying to get this thing done, doing a lot of study, stuff like that. So these videos are really supported by the challenges that you feed me, and like what I see out there as a problem focused on solving problems. So if you like this, subscribe, hit that little bell so you don't miss any of these. If you liked it, great. If you didn't, okay, tell me down in the comments, whatever. Let me know what you think of these. Let me know what you thought of this video. And I look forward to reading those down in the comments. I read everything. And those comments are what support the next video or support the next topics. So anyway, hopefully this helped. And thank you. And I'll see you in the next video.